It's early morning in Stanley Park. You can see the grass is still really brown, even after 2 days of heavy rain. We had 77 days without rain. And last summer was super hot at one point. We had a heat dome. And Stanley Park, as you can see it from our balcony, started to turn brown. There's a lot of dead wood out there. And I think the park is at risk, at high risk right now. So let's go take a look.
On the 6th floor of our building, in the concrete staircase, there is a dead body of a looper moth. Last summer there were thousands of these flopping around in this staircase and every other staircase in the city because the looper moth population explodes every 15 years. For 4 years, 4 years in a row, we had infestations of looper moths all around Vancouver, and they were everywhere. I believe these are the real culprit of why Stanley Park is in trouble. So let's go take a look. Okay, we're about a quarter of the way through around the park, and as you can see, the perimeter looks pretty healthy. It's quite green, but once we get inside, you'll see all the dieback. There's a couple trees there. You do see dead trees along the way, but it's mostly on the interior. Okay, we're about a third of the way around Stanley Park on our Sunday morning run. We've done this hundreds of times. This is a common sight here in Stanley Park. You can see the fire hazard is at extreme, so I have to give credit to Stanley Park. They put signs around warning people, and there's fire hydrants all through the park, but there's so much dead wood in the park it could spark at any moment, and I do worry about that. We get 8 million visitors to the park every year, and most of them are in the summer, and some of them are not that careful. Okay, we're about 2/3 of the way around the park. You can see why I love this place. I'll never get sick of this running route. There's Siwash Rock at the point, and in the background, UBC. What a beautiful morning. We're at Second Beach in Stanley Park. Brand new sign just got installed last week. Clearly somebody at the parks board's as alarmed as I am. I'm assuming they're putting more of these around the park. Well, this is what I'm talking about. There are a lot of dead trees in this space here. Just entering the park. It sure looks combustible to me. And I don't think it's the dry, hot weather that's doing it. So I think these trees have been eaten to death by the looper moth. It's a theory. Anyway, let's look at the next spot. Okay, we're deeper into the park. This is just the approach, the beginning of the approach to Prospect Point. And you can see there's like 10 dead trees here. Well, that doesn't look great. There's a lot of dead wood up there. Down below too. Dead branches everywhere. We're about as deep into the park as you can get right now. It's beautiful in here, but bone dry, even after a solid 48 hours of rain. And I think most of the dieback can be attributed to the looper moth. You don't see them much anymore, but last summer and the summer before that, and for the last 4 summers, they were just hanging from all these trees. The caterpillars were hanging from all these trees after they had denuded them for food. And, you know, maybe this is just a natural process and I should relax and let it happen, but it sure looks like a lot of kindling to me. So what do we do about it? For those of you who were alarmed by my summer video shot in Stanley Park, you'll be happy to know, A, we've got a ton of rain since then, So the hazard of fire is pretty much non-existent now. And B, the city has decided to cut down a quarter of the park. According to them, there's about 500,000 trees in Stanley Park, and they're gonna take down 120,000 trees in the next 2 years. Which is great, you know, it's gonna thin out the forest, allow the big trees that are healthy to get bigger, and completely eradicate the fire hazard. Have a look at this tree with yellow tape around it. I think that's where they're gonna cut it. There's not much left of it at the top. Pretty dead. So that thing's coming down. Whew. Here's another spot near Prospect Point that they have pretty much clear cut in the last couple weeks. They've done a couple interesting things here. There's very little left. I think it's all going to just turn back into soil. But take a look at this tree that they left standing maybe 10 meters tall. I'll get a little closer. But you could see the top of it. They've actually done these deep cuts in the top, and I'm curious why. It wasn't an accident. They've done it on the tree right next to it as well. These really deep, kind of corkscrew shaped cuts. Can you see that? I'll try and zoom in for you in post, as they say. So yeah, project's underway. That's great news. They've got all winter to get rid of the worst of it, and then they'll continue for the next couple years. Until next time.